Right, well, good morning bikers. Groundhog Day here in Bealach, just filled up at the same petrol station went to yesterday, 10.96 litres after yesterday's riding. A little bit wetter and colder here today, so I've put an additional mid layer on because it's just a bit cooler. But forecast supposedly as I head southwest is that it's supposed to improve. Of course the forecast is just that, and we'll get what we get and we'll find out when we get there. Some nasty corrugations on this road here, really nasty. A bit like that sort of corrugations you get on dirt roads, but I've never really seen it on the seal before. Anyway, so the plan is quite a long day today. We'll see how the weather goes. If things are going well, then I'll do a long loop, do another chunk out of the NC500 round Applecross and, I don't know how you say it, Bealach, whatever. If I get there, you'll recognise it when you see it, if you've seen people doing the NC500. If the weather's bad or I'm running far too late, then I've got a shorter loop back to Fort William. But anyway, the target for today is one way or t'other, do some riding. Going to finish up at Glen Kalu tonight, which is a slight change to my schedule. Got an old friend to meet there for a night in, which is now legally permissible. So anyway, that's about it. I'll check in later when we get somewhere more interesting, preferably off these corrugations. So it's taken about an hour to ride out of the rain. We're back on the NC500 and I just thought I'd take a quick shot of this. Unfortunately I'm just a little bit too late. Of course, it's always the way with the camera, isn't it? It's off when you come over the top of the hill and think, oh, that's a great shot, but still, surely this is Ullapool coming into here. But nice shot. Very modern looking town for this part of the world. Hills in the background, clouds, and we're surrounded by the yellow of gorse. Mildly amused by one of the YouTubers that I like to follow and I enjoy his work a lot, and he's coming up and he's waxing lyrical about the yellow and how beautiful they are, and talks about them, and I guess it's classic, isn't it? You know, it's a new view. It's like, yeah, I suppose it is pretty enough, the yellow, but when we grew up in the south of New Zealand, which is a very Scottish area of the country, it's gorse, and it's a terrible weed that people are always trying to kill off. If you let it go, it just grows wild, covers everything, and it's full of prickles. But you know, it's one of those things that it's good at times to get something from somebody with a different point of view, because yeah, the yellow it's pretty enough, it's true, right? And it is very much the colour of these sorts of places. What a bikers. Well, hopefully self-explanatory. I'll just turn the camera on here to catch this view coming down the valley with the lock up in the distance. Colours, sun and rain. So just approaching Kinlochwe, which is on the NC500. So I've gone from Leg, done a little bit of the NC500, then missed a big chunk of it because I don't have time for that today, and the bit I am doing is still scheduled to be over 6 hours in the saddle. So I'll just shortcut through. I think probably at Kinlochwe or just short of it, I'll get a left turn and I'll be back on the NC500 and do the sort of famous run round Applecross and Bealach, whatever it is. Maybe it's Bealach, maybe something altogether different. We'll see. Anyway. That countryside. Well, at least the sun's trying to go do with some warmth. Had a good sort of hour's rain getting out of Leg, and then a really nice sunny bit through Ullapool, and some beautiful roads too, really nice roads. And then rain again, and it's quite cold. It's only 7 or 8 degrees, so the sun is very welcome. More of that would be good. Yeah, so as expected, nicely signposted left at Kinlochwe. We're back on the NC500, and I'm just sitting here looking at this thinking, you know, what was that old song? Have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day was the line, wasn't it? Well, here it is. Thinking about that now, I guess the Scots must have listened to that song and thought, what are they talking about? Have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? Any day of the week, sunny. It's probably written in California, right? Very likely. Anyway, too funny. These are the things that go through your mind at times like this. Anyway, just thought I'd share that thought as well as the view. Right, so now we're on the Applecross Road. Amazing scenery everywhere. Really hard to find a spot to stop. Though I just passed a really good place just before, and there's a whopping great truck taking up all the parking space. But anyway, I just stopped here. I thought it might be easiest just to get off the bike and show you the vista. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't come out too bad. The bike's just hidden down through the tree there on the other side of the road. Anyway, this sun is good. I'm starting to thaw out a bit, so that is a bonus. Right, and I've just switched quickly to my phone camera here to give you a bit of a better vista looking southwest from the Applecross region across to the Isle of Skye. Well, how Scottish is this? Just couldn't resist stopping to get this shot. He looks fearsome, but I'm sure he's friendly enough, right? He can probably even do a selfie. I'm just going to get my phone out and take some photos as well, but thought I'd share this moment. Okay, so you're just going to have to bear with me for a minute or two here. It's a former military aviator that worked in the maritime air business. This exercise here with the Royal Marines was too good an opportunity to miss, and the opportunity to see the US Air Force tilt rotor is actually doing their vertical takeoff and landing thing is actually far too good to miss. So we'll just stop here for a minute and watch them do their thing. So now this is the famous road to Bealach, whatever it is now, but you know, the fancy road that goes over wherever it goes. Anyway, so we've just come out of Applecross heading up the road. There's clearly a bit of traffic around, so it's just going to be a scenic tour, but I thought I'd stop and just give a vista back across the bay. You can just see Isle of Skye in the distance there, Royal Naval landing ship giving us a demonstration just further down the coast of amphibious landings. What more could you ask for? Right, on up the hill then. Now, being a rank amateur at this and not having been over it before, of course I have no idea what's the best bits to film, I can tell you that there's a really specky shot of the Isle of Skye out there, although we just sort of lost it behind that hill. Cheers, bud. It's probably going to be better further up, I can see. So maybe I'll try again in a minute or two. Hopefully this car will see I've pulled in and just keep on coming. Now that's a better shot, look at that. Isle of Skye under its cap of cloud like it should be. Okay, let's have a go at this hill. Anything I'm really worried about is the loose surface in the front, getting on loose gravel in various places, but otherwise can't really complain on a CB500. It's easy meat, isn't it? So yeah, I can see this is a bit nadgery if you're on a big bike, especially if you're not particularly experienced. It's a bit of an unfair advantage being on the 500, and of course I am at the end of the day an aging dirt biker, so the tighter it gets and the more ratty kind of the happier I am really, whereas not being sort of a through and through road rider, I'm not so happy on the fast open stuff, but there you go, it's the way of the world, isn't it? Now, it's just some sort of a peak, is it? It's got that look about it, isn't it? Lots of people checking out the views. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, and the ship's underway. You probably can't see that, but... Now, I don't know how it's going to look to you, but that's quite spectacular rock walls just ahead of us there. Don't know if whether it made the cut, but I was saying yesterday I passed some little what did they call them? Geopods, sort of, you know, with briefing information on the little local geology, which seemed a really good idea because it's a big feature of the local area, isn't it? You know, today, earlier on, I didn't have the camera on. They actually had a geo park. Not quite sure what that really means, but it seems entirely appropriate. Right, so this must be the really famous bit. I'm assuming. Oh, yeah, it's got the look of it, isn't it? Sort of Trollsteigen type in Scotland. Ooh, down we go. Ooh. That's quite good fun, I must admit. Oh my god, look at this. Doing it hard on the bikes. She's nearly there though. Look at that, that is impressive, isn't it? Okay, so fair go, this is quite impressive. I'm often a bit wary that, you know, these things can be sort of, you know, overhyped and people can get a bit carried away, but it's actually quite good. The camera won't do it justice, it is quite steep. Some quite interesting off-cambers there, because I wouldn't want to be on a big touring bike if I wasn't a very confident rider. Hello bikers. And that's quite a vista down there, isn't it? Look at that. To be fair, it's hard to capture these things in magazines and on videos, isn't it? You know, I don't know how many articles I've read about this, but you just don't see the steepness at all. They're looking a bit tenuous. No one was going to wave back. A few aging rockers here looking a little bit unsure of themselves. That's alright, going steadily, they're having a go. The worst thing that can happen is you drop your bike and get a few scratches in a slow speed corner. You know, it's a damage to your ego. But you know, it's not life-threatening stuff, is it? It's all good fun. Look at that. That is... I actually have to say, I thought the other side of this, don't know whether it's a peninsula, but this loop round what I call the Applecross loop, I thought the other side was pretty epic, and it was, but this is quite something. I am sorry that the camera will not do it justice. All I can say is, if you're thinking about it, do it, and if you're in North America or something, you want to do a trip of a lifetime to Britain, come to Britain, put a pin in the map and make sure you get here. Where you going, bud? There's other bikers on this road. I don't stop for bikers. That's very good, thank you, sir. Oh man, look at that. Look at that view across to the mountains there. That's just gorgeous, isn't it? Sun, cloud, different colours, different lights. That is awesome. Yeah, they're stopping way down there. Thank you, people. I'll be there very quickly. Thank you, folks. I wasn't sure whether to do this today. It was a long day. The weather forecast wasn't great. Sort of like day 4 on the bike. But man, wouldn't have missed it for the world. I mean, obviously it helps hugely that the weather's come up good, but it was awesome. Pay a price, us British bikers. I count myself as a British biker these days, haven't been here for a long time. Down where I live, there's plenty of pretty places, but there's no good riding in this. And what I mean by that is just everywhere you go, there's just traffic everywhere. So much traffic, there's always someone up your blooming chuff. We're in front of you, and it's like, to be honest, I do ride for pleasure in my own little local area, but sort of, you know, broader riding in the south of England, I'm just generally not bothered really. That's why this trip's been a long time coming, but it's about time too. Part of the reason I bought this little bike is, you know, I'm getting older and still dirt biking okay, but it's not going to last forever. Obviously empty nest now, so more time, and yeah, the road bike gives you the option of doing this sort of thing. So I've done a couple of nice trips into places like Wales, but this is the first sort of real epic type ride. Yeah, they look a lot more comfortable than the last lot, don't they? That's right, they're miles away. no doubt some people will just turn around and go back up again. I don't blame them at all. Well, that was just fantastic, right? Awesome. Right, good morning bikers. If you're hearing this, we'll probably skip today. Full disclosure, yesterday was horrendous. About 8 degrees, chucking it rain, but the worst thing was gale force winds, and quite a lot of the time right across the road, very often from the wrong side that's blowing towards you, towards oncoming traffic, which is a bit alarming, but that's life in the Highlands, isn't it? So yesterday was a bit of a washout in terms of nice video, and just thought I'd mention that, just to be clear. It's May in Scotland and it can be pretty wild and woolly, so pack your thermals and pack your wet weather gear. Anyway, aside from that, the night before I had a really nice night with an old friend, Martin. We met up in Glencoe, stayed at a nice pub. He on his completely inappropriate Harley Davidson with no weather protection, open face helmet and the rest, and so yeah, he got blasted to death. I'm very grateful to be a model CB500. Anyway, I'm on the way home now. It's been a fantastic trip to the Highlands. It's been very much what you expect on and off in the northern bits. Yesterday was a little bit disappointing in May, but you know, it's Scotland and you need to be prepared for it. So that's about it really. Probably won't be much more. After the footage from the far north, everything else is going to look a bit lame, so I'll probably shortcut home, and who knows, maybe this might be the end. If it is, and you've actually listened right through to the end, thank you very much for taking a little bit of time out of your life to share it with me. I appreciate that. It's quite interesting chatting away and having wee few people on YouTube that watch your stuff. It's like you're not so much alone out here, which is nice. I hope that you've enjoyed my ramblings, and in particular the scenery, and if it inspires anybody to get out there and do it, then that will have made it worthwhile in itself. So thanks for listening. Until next time, ciao for now.